Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Hip hop uncensored is the vibe, so subscribe. Oh God, driving Sam and riding passenger side, and you heard it out the mouth of the greatest rapper alive.
Make sure you guys click the like button. Make sure you leave a comment below. But most importantly, make sure you guys subscribe to Hip Hop News Uncensored for more exclusive just like this. Alright, man, today Charlamagne Tha God gave Donkey of the Day to the alleged shooters of Young Dolph. Now, I'm going to give you guys a quick recap of the latest developments on Young Dolph, and then I'm going to talk about what Charlamagne Tha God said, and I'm going to play what he said, right after this. So, the newest developments, there was a memorial going on, obviously, where Young Dolph was killed. I just found out that somebody was actually, shot, or there was gunfire definitely, at that scene of where they were doing a memorial down there by the butter cookie spot, Makiba's. Also, earlier today, they released a still image of what it looked like to be at least two shooters that shot Young Dolph, right there in Memphis yesterday. And they actually put out a picture of that car that they think that they used to get away. It's a few different pictures out there, and it appears to be, that particular car, that was used after the shooters went up and did what they did and really murdered Young Dolph in cold blood right in Memphis. Well, Charlamagne Tha God gave them Donkey of the Day, but it wasn't really the Donkey of the Day that made me want to talk about it. It was what he said after. I'm going to play what Charlamagne said, and then I want to expound and kind of just give my opinion, because most of the stuff I agree with, some of the stuff I don't, but I think it's a good teaching moment, for you guys, to listen to this. So stay tuned. Here's Charlamagne Tha God. Before I hit that and play that, make sure you guys go ahead and smash the like button. Make sure you guys share the video, and make sure you guys subscribe to Hip Hop News Uncensored. Here's Charlamagne Tha God.
What you saw yesterday was a societal problem. Okay, this is what happens when people don't have better things to do. This is what happens when, proper investments haven't been made in certain communities. All right, we can go on and on about how the root causes of crime are inequality, the lack of support to families and neighborhoods, inaccessibility to services. Like, we act like violent crime is a complex issue. Okay, it's not. Lack of education, rupture of family structure, generational poverty, boom. Nine times out of 10, you're going to get someone who has zero self-worth when they come from those conditions, and zero love for themselves. And if I lack self-worth and love of myself, what the hell I care about you for? All right, you around here shining, driving your fancy cars, jewelry on. Man, some people will kill you. Not just because they are jealous and envious, but they will kill you because of the way other people love you. They don't want to hear about what you're doing in the community. Imagine buying your local church some robes for the choir, and then one of these dudes' grandmas is bragging, to the family, to their grandson about how you bought robes for the choir. That grandson wants grandma to talk about him like that. So now he's mad at you and wants to kill you simply because he craves the love and admiration that you receive simply for doing good deeds and providing for your community. Hunger makes a thief or killer of any man. I repeat, hunger makes a thief or killer of any man. But sometimes you're not just hungry for money or resources. Sometimes these brothers are hungry for love. They are hungry for self-worth. They are hungry for healing. And they often get it way too late. They often get it after they've committed a crime like this, and they sitting in prison for 100 years. But at that point, it's pretty much too late. We need you getting that healing while you outside so you can go influence others to heal. And right now, it just feels like I'm repeating myself. It always feels like this when situations like this happen. The players change, scenarios change, but the energy of unhealed trauma remains the same. A black man can't go buy cookies. Cookies? I would never understand why we cut our nose off to spite our faces. A brother who does so much in the community, helps so many people, shot and killed for what? It's like it's like we're taking out the same people who were sent to help us. Okay, I know I've said that a million times. All right? Dolph didn't have to be in Memphis anymore. He chose to be. Chose to frequent local businesses like Makiba's, chose to have his presence in the city because he wanted to show people another way. And once again, here we are asking the question, do we give back and don't go back? That seems to be the safest bet because Young Dolph is deceased simply because he loved his city and chose to be there. Think about that. He's dead simply for showing love. And you wonder why so many people choose to love their communities from a distance. You wonder why they choose to give back but don't go back. I personally will never understand it. Whoever killed Young Dolph, you ruined the whole legacy. Took out a brother that was being a generational curse breaker, all because your generational.
All right, so he pretty much goes on and gives the alleged shooters of Young Dolph, right? And he breaks down a lot, and I agree with a lot of what he said, but I kind of really want to add on. I don't want to go, I'm not saying like a diss video or nothing like that. I kind of just want to add on and add a little bit to what he said. A lot of the stuff that he said is right and exact. I want to cover this area, then I want to go to another area. Let's start first with, we had D1 on yesterday, and if anybody read the book, As a Man Thinketh, if I haven't read the whole thing, but I'm reading it right now, it talks about, the thought, and how when a man manifests thoughts, that these thoughts can actually come into being, and not only thoughts, words. So you manifest it, you get a thought, you say, okay, I'm going to sell some drugs, I'm gonna go down there, I'm gonna get this, boom, it's negative in my area, I got to get a gun for protection. It's all these things are manifested, and I'm not, sometimes people's 100% reality, right? But then on the other hand, you'll have somebody, in the same community that will say, okay, yeah, I'm growing up around this stuff, have access to this stuff, but you know what? I want to be a teacher. I want to be an entrepreneur. Now, a lot of my friends went to go sell drugs, but I'm not going to start with drugs. I'm going to, go and buy some water at the Sam's or Costco's and stand on a freeway or stand somewhere, and get a 40 pack of water for $3 and sell them for $1 and make the profit. I'm going to do this every day until I graduate to something else. Now, I'm not, dissing anybody that's a drug dealer. I'm trying to make a point right here, right? So then, right, and the reason I'm saying that is because I want to lead into this, because sometimes you see that these rappers, they will, put out a message, a powerful message. They will get into different things with people. Some of them come up in this environment and they leave a trail of blood. Not saying that Young Dolph did this. I don't know his situation like that, but where I'm getting at is sometimes it's with all the stuff that Charlamagne Tha God said. Yes, it's that, but sometimes it's people offended, people harmed, people, had whatever with, that sometimes they want to come back and get what they call payback or revenge. Again, I don't know if this was a situation with Young Dolph. Sometimes it's that. Sometimes, you got somebody out there that'll have a couple bodies, 2 bodies, and, they done rob 10 people, 20 people. And one day, it might be 10 years down the line, a friend, a son, a family member might come and do something. That's an aspect of what goes on. Now, you do have the other aspect, like Charlamagne Tha God saying, it's like, okay, it's a societal issue. It's very easy, he talks about the lack of education, a rupture of the family structure, generational poverty. And he says, boom, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have someone who has zero self-worth, and they come from conditions, with zero love for themselves, 100% real. These guys, these people, as we know, not all, but some, it definitely, triggers people to be, in a real bad state, and they will steal, they will kill, whatever they have to do for survival. When you put somebody's back against the wall, they're going to do what they have to do for survival. But then you have, the aspect of lack of opportunity, and I think Charlamagne was alluding to that when he talked about, lack of, investments, things set up in a community. Like, if you got an area where, a kid has 10 different options when he grows up, he could be a doctor, he could be a lawyer, he can be a carpenter, all accessible really to him. Like, he can get the funds, he can get the schooling, he can go through that right in high school to prepare himself. Or you got it where, the teachers don't really care. The resources is nil. The father's out of the house. The mother's working all day, whatever. The kids is alone. They being raised by, these knuckleheads on the street, and, instead of them going to get, a $10 an hour job, they go, You don't go to the street and hustle. I understand all that. I had friends who took that route. I have friends that have been killed. I understand all that. My thing is to make sure that we put everything in perspective here. You have all of that going on, but sometimes you have the situation where, all right, yeah, you know, this person was in a gang. This person was doing crime. They did so and so to so and so to so and so. They got beef with so and so and so and so. They kind of got a target on them. It's now the remedy to this, in my opinion, and it's not going to solve everything, is to make sure. And you see people like Drake, you see people like Jay-Z, you see people like know that they can't go to the bathroom without security. You can't. You're gonna have to have that at this point. And it may not save your life, but it could sure be a damn deterrent, right? But again, we have to look at this. I'll look at all sides over here, right? Hip Hop News Uncensored. It's like you being in your neighborhood. You at your mom's crib. It's peaceful. Your mom said, go to the store and get me whatever. It's that simple. Or I'm going to get a haircut in my neighborhood. You ain't thinking that something's going to happen, but here's what they say, that you either learn from busting your ass or you learn from somebody else busting their ass and making their mistakes. And these rappers got to learn that situations where if you got the resources, if you're known, even if you ain't had no beef or done nothing wrong, know that somebody could come up and try to take it from you. And when I mean take it from, that means taking your life. So again, I agree with most of what Charlamagne said. I just wanted to add a little bit more to that. I hope that you guys enjoyed what I said. And there's a lot going wrong in the communities and whatnot. And we all got to work to make things better. And a lot of times, it's access to resource, access to opportunity that causes a lot of this. If you got guys, who come out and, it's accessible for them to make $80,000 to $100,000 a year, they never got to go to the streets. You know what I mean? Because they can make a livable wage. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. I'm not going to get too deep into that. We can definitely go on for hours. I appreciate you guys listening. And make sure you guys hit the like button. Share the video. If you guys listen to this live, hit that like button real quick. Don't leave me hanging. We should have over 200-300 likes right now before we get out of here, right? And also make sure you guys subscribe to Hip Hop News Uncensored. Like I said, we got somebody from Memphis OG coming on tomorrow. So make sure you guys subscribe right now to get that video. I'll probably be live, but if not, it'll be up tomorrow night. Memphis OG will be in the building breaking all of this down. So make sure you guys subscribe and hit the notification bell real quick. That way, as soon as that is dropped, you will get notified. It's your boy Oga, man. Over and out. Peace.